am not unwell, Big Clue. Thank you very much. I've never, to be someone's favorite profligate wastrel, this is, I have indeed scaled the heights. Hello again, cranks and cranklets. Welcome back to our Ned McGreevy League. It's winding down, but we still have some games to go. Ned with his shillelagh at the ready. So tonight's game, we'll see two in the middle of the pack, Providence and Bellingham. Providence coming into tonight's game at 68 and 66, and Bellingham at 67 and 67. Bellingham and Liverpool, each 9 games away from elimination. Providence still in the race. So other games tonight we'll just be playing auto, out-of-town games, or what have you. Liverpool at Manchester, Arsenal at Butler, Philadelphia at Carolina, and Cleveland at St. Louis. St. Louis with a chance to spoil it a bit for Cleveland, perhaps. St. Louis eliminated from the tournament, or from the season, but Cleveland just 3 games back of Manchester. So in the Manchester-Liverpool one should be pretty good too, as Liverpool tries to get above 500 again. So Ned, have a pint or 7, lad, and we'll see you next time. All right, so let us get to the ballpark, and let's play some baseball. Base, space, ball. All right, here we go. So, as I've said, it's going to be kind of a bittersweet thing when this one goes away, because this is one that Ken and I have wanted to do for years, and it's been a lot of fun, and I'm so gratified that the community has received it rather warmly. I'm very, very pleasantly surprised, considering, and the other content creators out here in our YouTube family do some great stuff, but it's all more modern baseball. Nothing wrong with that. But in fact, one channel owner has asked me to at least consider a 1919 Black Sox replay. I may do it. If I do it, I don't usually do season replays. If I do, I really, really want to make it kind of a very, very special thing. Kind of get into some inside stories about maybe some things people may not know about that particular baseball season, and also what was going on in the world in 1919. So to give it some context, I'd like to make it special. If I do it, I'm not sure yet. Somebody else had asked me instead to do 1920, but that Ray Chapman, it doesn't get killed and the Landis hammer doesn't fall. Because the 1920 race in the American League was, of course, excellent. Cleveland and Chicago going down the line until Landis dropped the bomb. So I'm not sure yet, and there may be some dead ball fatigue setting in here too as well. So, but as I said last night, and these are just a few pre-game things before we get started, the All-Time World Baseball Classic is going to take a while to set up. That was going to be the next, one of the 2 next big projects. But the way that Dave Cook has created those nations teams, each team is its own database. So it's going to take me drafting, and I think there's 10 countries, if I counted correctly. And that's going to take a while to put together for me to decide, okay, who's going to be on each team. Whatever the easiest is going to be Ireland, and Ireland is going to be mainly a 19th century team. Not a lot of players after the 19th century, or let's say after the dead ball era, born in Ireland. But I think it'll be fun nonetheless, but that one's going to take a while. Negro Leagues are shaping up nicely. We should be getting closer and closer to our Negro League All-Star Game, thanks to the crazy, crazy hard work of Steve Tate, and a big thanks to Big Clue. Also, Big Clue kind of pushed it over the edge, if you will, or brought it to the summit, in that giving Steve the Major League equivalencies, which are going to allow down the road, right? So at first will allow us to play out a full Negro League season. It'll be a draft league, but also then the final step to that, the third part, will be to create a meaningful, and I know Steve's working on that as a great finale, an all-time greats league with having these great Negro League stars peppered throughout. Also, for players of MLB The Show, and I will be picking that game up, the new edition when it comes out. And the reason I'm waiting for the new edition, and welcome into Cubs to Bears, 1920 silent films only, exactly. Then I'm waiting for 2022's Robbie Wartburg sent me in our Discord a wonderful announcement that the Negro Leagues are coming to MLB The Show in 2022, and I realize there's all kinds of great mods out there for 2021, or for 2023, I guess is. I'm sorry. So, but for the version that's out now. However, having the Negro Leagues, that's something worth waiting for. So, for those of you that like MLB The Show, and since I found out that you can just play it as a managing game as opposed to a Twitch game, I'm really excited about it, and I think the addition of the Negro Leagues is something that's going to be just spectacular. So, with that being said, let's get to the getting these lineups ready for Bellingham and Providence. Hopefully, Cousin Ken Castro will come in tonight and manage this team. If not, we'll let the AI do both teams. Well, you know what I mean. All right, let's do this. So let's see who we have for these Wolf Chokers. I think, well, let's do a lineup and see who's supposed to pitch. Eddie Plank. All right, and the opponent, it's going to be Radbourne. So we have to go back to the other one and do the lineup versus a righty. Let's see where it is on this. I think D. Scott Howard wanted this to be completely AI driven. So there we go. All right, we are ready to get underway. Big Clue says Steve did all the work. I just threw gas in that crazy man's fire, apparently. There is nothing wrong with that. Big Clue, this was something that MV and I wanted to do. We talked about late last year doing a Negro Leagues, pardon me, a Negro Leagues project, and I'm going to look and see if we can get Ty Cobb into one of these lineups. Cobb hasn't seen a lot of playing time. Cobb is not in any of these, so we're gonna put Cobb in, I think, and we're gonna take out Roush. So I'm going to bring in Cobb, and I think that we should move Cobb into the leadoff position. Sisler has some punch. Let's put him in there. Hopefully D. Scott won't mind. Sisler can hit a home run here and there. Not in this league, apparently, so we're going to, let's see. More in the 20s. I can't bring in Dutch Swilling. Not a lot of power in the Bellingham Wolf Chokers. So, let's see. Casey Stengel will get a start tonight. Rarely does. All right, let's do this. And Old Hoss Radbourne indeed is starting tonight. I wanted to finish my thoughts about the Negro League project, Big Clue, and why you really have played a large part in it. So there's only 8 seasons done for Action PC Baseball, and of course, with the nature of Negro League Baseball, there were some teams that only played 30 games, others that played 80. It was very common for these teams to also play outside the schedule and outside the organized structure of the Negro National League, and of course earlier in the 1920s the Eastern Colored League it was called, and also the Negro American League. Out of the Park Baseball has every Negro League season, but you're still running into the same problem, and we're just banging our heads, how would we create something more than just a one-off project? And we were talking about it one day in a broadcast, and Big Clue pretty much said, hey, guess what? And there it was. And Steve has been off to the races. I think he's created now, he's carded enough Negro League players for 4 teams, I believe. Maybe a little bit over 4 teams. I'm using the Major League equivalencies, so it's going to be amazing to play this out and to then have them peppered throughout an all-time greats franchise league, and at least in our own little way. Thanks to Steve Tate, to Big Clue, that we can actually have these guys playing in their rightful place. That being said, welcome to Huntington Avenue grounds, where it's Bellingham against Providence. Eddie Plank will take the mound for Bellingham. So we're going to have a good matchup tonight. 30 starts in the year for Plank, and he is 21-8 with an earned run average of 2.62. This will be his 6th start against Providence, and he's 3-1 with a 2.28 earned run average against them. Old Haas Radbourne will take the mound for Providence. 48 starts on the year, no surprise. He is 26-21 with an earned run average of 2.56. This will be his 6th start against Bellingham, and he's 3-2 against Bellingham with a 2.5 earned run average. At game time, it is that magic 69 degrees. Wind speed 10 miles per hour in from left center field, and the man in blue says, all right, Big Clue. Make your reservations for the next shows. I'll take it last. Yeah, exactly, right? Big Clue says, for those who missed it, our friends Robbie Whitberg and Aaron Reed made it on the show last night. Yes, ladies, the one, the only, Robbie Whitberg. There you go. All right, and I couldn't ask for any better advertisement than what Big Clue says. That's a kind of delicious, savory treat in store when you tune into Beatles Eternal East channel at night. Make your reservations for the next show. I'll take it last. I just came in from RGL Networks channel. Good game between the A's and the Rangers. Tomorrow night on that channel, I'm going to be tuning in after the fact, because going out to do a little bit of music tomorrow evening. Tomorrow night, the 1988 Mets and Pirates lock up, and he told me that in his replay right now, my Pirates are in first place in the National League East. His Mets are in 4th. So, going to be a good game. All right, leading it off here against Old Haas Radbourne, Georgia Peach, Ty Cobb. Ty Cobb at 284, 3 home runs, 26 runs batted in. So the Bellingham club splitting time between Cobb and Roush. Roush rated a bit higher as in center field. So again, letting the AI, Bellingham letting the AI largely handle a lot of this. And Bellingham actually doing pretty well. So these two teams in the middle of the pack. Old Haas ready to deal now. So sit back as we are in cavernous Huntington Avenue grounds, one of the 2 ballparks, the site of the first modern World Series, 1903, Boston and Pittsburgh. The 2-1 delivery now to Cobb. Cobb swings, lined right to mid-McGreevy, except it's second, and we are underway. And hopefully we'll have a good game tonight now. Miller Huggins hitting .238 with 25 runs batted in, steps in the mighty might against Old Haas. Radbourne kicks and fires the 0-1 delivery, curveball. This one chopped down the third base line. Bradley coming into it across the diamond. Huggins going down the line at a good clip, but Howe Chase making the stretch for the putout. 2 up, 2 down for Big Ed Delahanty, the left fielder, hitting .269, 8 runs batted in, 70 runs batted in. 8 home runs, 70 runs batted in. And we did have a change in our league, by the way. So it was just in home run totals. So we'll let you know. We do have the same leader in home runs, but he now has 12. He was stuck at 11 for about a month and a half. All right, Delahanty waits for the Radbourne delivery, the 0-1 delivery. And chopped up the middle, but McGreevy ranging to his right, up with it, and a 4-3 put out of Delahanty to retire the side. So the Bellingham barehanded wolf chokers, and D. Scott Howard insists that the full name of his team be mentioned at least once in every broadcast. Nothing, and Providence Liberty Tree coming to bat. Leading off here, sliding Billy Hamilton. Hamilton hitting .286 on the year, 7 runs batted in. Nah. Big clue calling out heresy on Robert. All right. So Plank ready to deal now. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Sliding Billy, curveball. And Hamilton looks at a call, third strike 3, so nice curveball dropped in there by Gettysburg Eddie. And that brings up wee Willie Keeler. Keeler hitting at 297, a home run, 51 runs batted in. Keeler is just behind Hannes Wagner, I think by 2 or 3 in stolen bases. Sisler in at first, Tex Wisterzel in at third. Eddie Plank, the lefty, deals. The 1-1 pitch, fastball to Keeler, base hit into right field. Stengel up with it. Keeler rounds first. What has been a good tandem for the Providence Liberty Tree has been Hamilton and Keeler. So Keeler with 48 steals in the season, and here's Joe Kelly, who's done a great job also for Providence. 252 a home run, 40 runs batted in, and 47 steals. So don't let that 252 average fool you. Kelly has come in clutch many times for Providence throughout this season. We are at game number 135. So getting down to the end. Keeler an aggressive lead at first. Jocko Milligan sets the target for Eddie Plank. The lefty deals. There goes Keeler. Milligan throws down. The tag by Huggins, not in time. Wee Willie Keeler picking up steal number 49. As Big Clue says that, talking about the Mets are in 4th place in Robert's replay, says Robert is jeopardizing his favorite Mets fan card with this heresy. Oof. Tough words coming from Big Clue for RGL Network. So if Robert happens to stop by, all right. Joe Kelly back in the box now in the 1-0 delivery from Gettysburg Eddie, curveball. And this one in there, another strike 3 called. So Plank's 2 strikeouts have been on called third strikes. And here comes Little Napoleon, John McGraw. McGraw playing shortstop tonight. We usually see him at third, but shortstop tonight for Little Napoleon. 243 average, 45 runs batted in. As Klee, baseball 879. Takes his accustomed seat tonight at the Huntington Avenue, or today at the Huntington Avenue grounds. And he says, here listening, but also compiling stats for the 2007 Indians reboot. Awesome, Tim. Would like to be done compiling by the end of the week, but not sure. Got all the pitchers done, now working on the hitters. We're looking forward to it, Tim. And again, while people can click on your channel, anybody comes in or listens to it later and you're looking at the chat, please subscribe to Klee Baseball Fan 879. Good guy. And a brilliant student of the game. John McGraw now ready to face Gettysburg Eddie. The southpaw winds and deals. The 1-0 delivery to McGraw. Curveball. And McGraw, high pop-up on the infield. Huggins and White converging, but Huggins calling off Bill White, and he will make the catch to retire the side. We are scoreless as we go to the top of the 2nd inning. George Sisler, Casey Stengel, and Jocko Milligan. Gorgeous George hitting 251, 37 runs batted in. Sisler, a rather later acquisition for the Bellingham squad. Olhaas, ready to work. He winds and fires. The 1-2 pitch. Sisler swings. This one, sky to center. Sliding Billy coming in, covering a little bit of real estate, making the catch. 1 up, 1 down. And here's the young professor, Casey Stengel. And I think there were many people out there were at that time that were glad that Stengel never became a dentist. We'd have had a lot of toothless people in the teens and 20s. Stengel hitting 251, a home run, 49 runs batted in. Radbourne pitching now with 1 down, and the 0-1 delivery. Fastball to Stengel. Fly ball to center. This one has some distance. Hamilton going back and makes the catch. So 2 down. Stengel got good contact in that ball, but this is a big ballpark, and you have a very, very fleet center fielder out there, Cranks and Cranklets. Let's not kid ourselves. There are no cranklets here, but we can always dream. Jocko Milligan now, 268 hitter, 2 home runs, 19 runs batted in on the season. Radbourn pitches with 2 down, and the 0-1 delivery. Fastball to Milligan. This one lined right to Prince Howard Chase, who makes a leaping grab of that one. So that rope and Howard Chase possibly saving against an extra base hit. And we go to the bottom of the second, and we are scoreless. And the aforementioned Howard Chase due up, followed by Bid McPhee and Buck Ewing. Prince Howell in the year, 271, 5 home runs, 46 runs batted in. Clinton Parks says, I'll watch. I'm looking at monitoring Mahoning Valley and Youngstown. What's the weather like? Tim for Torrance, who's asking Tim what the weather is like in the Mahoning Valley. I know Youngstown well. Big Clue saying the '88 Mets are one of his biggest disappointments, along with the 1993 Giants, 2004 Cardinals, 2021 Dodgers, and every Reds team of the past 30 years. Oof. Plank delivers now to Chase, count even on him, and waved at and missed. So Plank picks up strikeout number 3. And this was the first strikeout in which a batter actually swung on strike 3. So one away for second baseman Bid McPhee for Providence. McPhee hitting .250 with a home run, 7 runs batted in. Eddie Plank, 3 strikeouts, no walks in this game. Buck Ewing waits on deck. The southpaw, let's go. McPhee swinging on the first pitch, and White, diving stop from his knees, throws on to George Sisler to retire McPhee. What a play by Bill White there at short for Bellingham. And catcher Buck Ewing now in the box. 251 with 9 dingers and 65 runs batted in. Ewing has been playing tough for Providence all year as well. Eddie Plank has the sign from catcher Jocko Milligan. Here is the wind. Full count on Ewing. Ewing base hit into right with 2 out. Stengel up with the ball quickly. Ewing thinking about second. He will hold. Second base hit for Providence in the game. Ewing with 31 thefts on the season. That brings in George Bradley. So Bradley playing the hot corner tonight. McGraw at short. Bradley hitting just 149 with 6 runs batted in. Ewing, good lead at first with 2 down. In this league, never be surprised to see a hit and run or anything with 2 down or a steal. Plank deals the 0-2 delivery. The runner does not go. Bradley, and this one, a called third, strike 3. So Eddie Plank has struck out 4, and 3 have been uncalled third, strike 3s. How about that? Called strike 3s. We are scoreless here as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. It's going to be Tex Wisterzo, Bill White, and Gettysburg Eddie. Radbourn has yet to strike out a batter. And yet Radbourn working on the shutout, and Plank also working on an excellent game, again, early innings. We'll just put it that way. Radbourn rubs up the ball, has the sign from Buck Ewing. The 0-1 delivery. Little spitball action here. Wisterzo shoots it up the third base line. Bradley kind of shakes off the ball and the spittle, and then fires it on to Hal Chase, and then thinks to himself, why didn't I leave the spittle on for Prince Hal? Anyhow, 1 down. Whether George Bradley and Hal Chase ever actually met is anyone's guess. Bill White now hitting just .227, 5 home runs, 55 runs batted in. Radbourn fires it in, the 1-2 pitch, and strike 3 called. So Orr Haas picks up his first strikeout. 2 away here in the top of the 3rd, and that brings up Eddie Plank. Plank hitting .223 with 12 runs batted in. Eddie's even managed 2 stolen bases. Radbourn with the delivery. 0-2 curveball, and Eddie Plank. Big swing and a miss. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, scoreless at the Huntington Avenue grounds. Old House Radbourne will lead it off for Providence. Then we get back to the top of the order. Sliding Billy Hamilton and Wee Willie Keeler. Big Clue says, how can one not root for a team called the Wolf Chokers? It's classic. Yes, it is. I'm guessing that is coming from the rivalry at the very, very beginning of this league, way back in October 2022. Clinton Park's team, of course, the St. Louis Wolves, and we got the three great bench jockeys, the three professors of baseball, Clinton Parks, D. Scott Howard, and Ken Castro, and you got to love the rivalry. I'm pretty sure that's where D. Scott Howard came up with the Wolf Chokers. And remember, it's the Bellingham barehanded Wolf Chokers, and D. Scott was a little bit upset that Action PC Baseball wouldn't allow the full name of his team. All right, back to action now. Radbourne hitting .234, 2 home runs, 19 runs batted in. Eddie Plank into his motion, the 0-1 delivery. Radbourne swings, base hit to left. That's going to be the third hit by Providence, and Radbourne is aboard. Radbourne on the season has 2 steals. Back at the top of the order now, Sliding Billy Hamilton struck out back in the first. Robbie Wartburg coming into Huntington Avenue grounds for tonight's game. Welcome in, Robbie. Eddie Plank now ready to face Hamilton. The 1-1 pitch now to Sliding Billy. Fastball, Hamilton, base hit into right field. Stengel up with it. Radbourne rounding second, but he will hold. So 2 aboard for Providence, and here comes Willie Keeler. Wee Willie is 1 for 1. Hit him or they ain't. Grounded a single between first and second because they weren't there then. One of the game's great place hitters, of course, responsible for the foul strike rule. Plank with a check of the runners. The speed is at first in Hamilton. He's kind of being held up a little by Radbourne at second. Providence looking to draw first blood here in the third. Pardon me. Plank's delivery now, the 0-1 to Keeler. And Keeler gets the bunt down. It's a good one. But Plank going to third, and they're going to get the lead runner, Radbourne. So the good bunt, but heads up play as Eddie Plank coming in on that ball. 1 down. Speed on the base paths, however, for Providence now. Hamilton at second, Keeler at first. Robbie, you never have to apologize, my friend. I was glad you were finishing movie. No apologies. This isn't a Catholic school where we take attendance. So, just glad you made it in, my friend. And hope it was a good movie. Joe Kelly, 0 for 1. Kelly struck out against Plank. Plank with a check of the runners, the wind, and the 2-2 pitch to Joe Kelly. The runners are not going, and strikeout number 5. This one paints the outside corner. Plank now with 5 strikeouts. John McGraw, 0 for 1, popped to second back in the first. Little Napoleon trying to solve Eddie Plank here. Plank with the 2-1. Looks like a little changeup, and McGraw will send this one up the middle past Huggins, base hit. Cobb up with it, Sliding Billy rounding third. Keeler rounding second. Hamilton will come in to score, and Providence takes an early lead here. It is 1-0. Keeler at second, McGraw at first. McGraw with good speed as well. 45 steals in the season. He's in the top 5 in terms of stolen bases. Hannes Wagner leading with 52. Prince Howe, 0 for 1. Struck out against the great Eddie Plank last time. 2 away, 2 on, 1 in. And here's Plank's delivery to Howe Chase. Fastball. Swung on, fly ball to center. Cobb camps under it, and can of corn. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 2 left on, and we've played 3 here at Huntington Avenue grounds. It's the Providence Liberty Tree 1 and the Bellingham Wolf Chokers 0. Due up for Bellingham, the top of the order, Ty Cobb and then Miller Huggins and Ed Delahanty. Cobb nothing for one. Lined to first. Back in the first. Radbourn with 2 strikeouts in the game. Here's the wind and the delivery. Cobb swings, chopper to first, Chase up with him. He will take it to the bag himself. Corners are in, looking bunt from the Georgia Peach. And here's Miller Huggins, nothing for one, grounded to third. Let's just say there's a lot of nothings right now, the nothing fours in this Bellingham lineup, and we'll go from there. Radbourn pitching, base is empty. And Huggins, fly ball to center. Hamilton under it and makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down for the great Ed Delahanty. Delahanty ready to face Old Haas. Would be a special night for Old Haas if this continues. Pity Cousin Ken is not in here. Clinton Parks watching a great one, Once Upon a Time in the West. Yes, indeed, a Sergio Leone classic. Absolutely. Radbourn delivers now to Delahanty. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Curveball. This one bunted. Ewing pouncing on it. And Delahanty is retired for the third out. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Providence 1, Bellingham nothing. Bid McPhee, Buck Ewing, and George Bradley due up for Providence. McPhee nothing for one in the contest, grounded to short as last time. Eddie Plank with 5 strikeouts, finding himself on the short end of a 1-0 lead here as we enter the middle innings. Plank with the 2-1 delivery, curveball to McPhee. This one slapped short, and Bill White making a great play. Diving stop on that one. Throws on to George Sisler to retire McPhee, much to the consternation of the Cranks and Cranklets here at the hallowed Huntington Avenue grounds. 1 down. Buck Ewing is 1 for 1 against Eddie Plank. Single to right center back in the second. The Southpaw deals now. 1-2 delivery to Ewing. Fastball. This one slapped it short as well. Bill White up with the textbook 6-3 putout onto Sisler. It's 2 up, 2 down, and that brings up George Bradley. Bradley struck out against Plank. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. This one lined to left. Delahanty takes it on the short hop, and Bradley is aboard with hit number 6 for Providence. Old Haas Radbourn now leading 1-0. And he is 1 for 1 in the game, so he singled back in the third. George Bradley, only 1 steal on the season, was projected to steal no bases, so a bit of a slow coach there at the first sack. Plank nonetheless checks the runner. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball to Radbourn. Radbourn with a little hopper down to third. Wisterzo will go to Huggins to retire Bradley, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the books here in Huntington Avenue grounds. It's still Providence 1, Bellingham nothing. Ken Castro finally in here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the notification, Cousin Ken. And yeah, we do want a, we would like a report, Cousin Ken, on how that went. So, Cousin Ken, at his local library, there was an author, the Negro League's book that was there today. So we're hoping that Cousin Ken has some cool stuff to report. Aaron Reed in the ballpark, world's worst gamer in the ballpark as well. Welcome, gents. That is awesome. So looking forward to it. Ken, right now, if you look at the scoreboard, you can see that you're leading 1-0, and something else is happening also. All right, the number 4, 5, 6 hitters now for Bellingham here in the top of the 5th. Sisler, Stengel, and Milligan. Lefty Sisler stands in against Old Haas. 1-1 delivery now Sisler, comebacker. This one, McPhee coming in behind the mound, makes the pickup and the throw on to Chase to retire Sisler in a hurry. Sisler with considerable speed. One away for Casey Stengel. Stengel last time flied to deep center. Gave it a ride. This is a big ballpark. But Hamilton, a lot of range out there in center. And a heck of a lot of speed. Radbourn ready to go. Here is the 2-0. Fastball to Stengel. Fly ball to left. Joe Kelly going back. This one pretty well hit at a big ballpark. And Kelly making the play short of the wall. 2 up, 2 down for Jocko Milligan. Jocko Milligan lined out to Chase his last time up. Radbourn ready to go. Kicks and fires. And the 1-2 pitch. Milligan breaks up the no-hitter. Base hit to right. Keeler up with it. Milligan making the turn at first. So Old Haas now with a one-hitter going. 2 away for Tex Wisterzo, who grounded a third back in the third. Jocko with just 4 steals. Radbourn comes home with it now. The 2-0 delivery. Wisterzo sends this one to third base. Bradley up with it. Bradley will go to McPhee to retire Milligan and the side. So the first hit for Bellingham in this game results in nada, nunca, nothing. 4.5. It's Providence 1, Bellingham nothing. Providence will send up the top of its order. Sliding Billy Hamilton, Willie Keeler, and Joe Kelly. Hamilton 1 for 2 in the game, struck out in the first and singled in the third. Plank into his motion, delivers the 0-1 to Hamilton. Hamilton gets a nice bunt down. Milligan up with it, and it looks like Sliding Billy will beat it out. This throw getting away from Sisler, but Stengel heads up, coming in quickly on that play, preventing Sliding Billy from taking off for second. So a runner aboard, and that brings up Willie Keeler. Keeler is 1 for 2 back in the third. He bunted and grounded a single back in the first, and I see a Cousin Ken. Good lead by Sliding Billy Hamilton at first. Milligan sets the target for Eddie Plank. Sisler, a very fast runner, understands what is going on in the cerebellum, cerebrum, and all other parts of the gray matter of Mr. Hamilton. So right on the bag, waiting for a throw over from Plank or the throw down from Milligan. Plank winds and fires. And there goes Hamilton. The throw by Milligan will not be in time. Sliding Billy Hamilton picking up his 21st steal of the season. So potential second run for Providence in scoring position. Nobody out. Keeler back in the box. Here is the 1-0 pitch from Plank. Keeler, oh my goodness, called strike 3. Eddie Plank with 6 strikeouts in the game, and only 1 strikeout came from a batter actually swinging on that third strike. So Plank getting 5 called punch-outs in this game. So Joe Kelly with 1 out, and okay, I got you, cousin. Eddie Plank now. Joe Kelly, 0 for 2. He has struck out twice against Eddie. Plank peers over his left shoulder. Hamilton, pretending to look innocent out there at the Keystone sack, has the sign from Milligan. Plank sets and delivers. Here's the pitch to Kelly. There goes Hamilton. Milligan up with it. The throw to Wisterzo. Gets by Wisterzo. And coming around to score is Billy Hamilton. And score that one an E2. So Jocko Milligan with the throwing error, allowing Hamilton to score. 2-0. There is nothing like small ball, station-to-station tactics. Hamilton unnerving the Bellingham barehanded wolf chokers. Kelly batting with the bases empty now. Good call by the Providence manager, the steal of third. Caught Milligan by surprise. Plank delivers the 1-0 to Kelly. This one fouled back. Joe Kelly back in the box. Here's the 1-1 from Eddie Plank. Kelly, routine fly ball to right. Stengel coming in a few steps and makes the grab for out number 2. John McGraw playing shortstop tonight is 1 for 2. Singled back in the third, an RBI scoring Billy Hamilton. Eddie Plank to work now. 0-2 pitch, fastball, and a little chopper to third. Wisterzo coming in on that ball. The throw across the diamond is going to be a close play. Sisler with the long stretch, and John McGraw beats it out. Infield hit. Hit number 7 for Providence. And stepping in now is Hal Chase. McGraw on the season, 45 steals for him. Chase in the game has struck out and flied out. And gotcha, cousin. McGraw, good lead at first. Plank checks the runner. Wheels and deals. McGraw, there he goes. Milligan comes up, gunning the throw down. They're not going to get John McGraw. Steal number 46. Providence bringing its running game today. Possible third run in scoring position. Providence plating 1 in the third, 1 here in the fifth thus far. Eddie Plank lets it go. Chase swings, liner to first. Sisler has it for the putout. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 errors, 1 left, and we go to the 6th. It's Providence 2, Bellingham nothing. Robbie Whitberg says he just noticed where you moved one of the players' stat boxes under the scoreboard there. Yes, yeah. I like having the pitcher up there for this league. It's the way my eyes work. I look at the scoreboard, down at the pitcher, and over at the batter. I don't like them stacked if I can help it for this league, because there's so much going on. MV coming into Huntington Avenue grounds. All right. Hope you guys are enjoying the game. We're halfway through. A little over halfway through. Bill White, Eddie Plank, and Ty Cobb due up for Bellingham. White is 0 for 1 in the game, struck out. Orhas Radbourne with 2 strikeouts. Radbourne lets it go. 0-2, fastball. John McGraw, diving stop, up with it, on to Hal Chase to retire Bill White. So McGraw showing he can play short as well as he can play the hot corner. 1 away. Eddie Plank, nothing for 1 against Orhas. He's struck out. Bellingham managing just 1 hit off of Orhas thus far this afternoon. Radbourne reaches back, and the 2-2 to Plank. And this one paints the outside corner. Strike 3. That's the 3rd K put up by Orhas Radbourne. Christopher Slovic in the Huntington Avenue grounds tonight. He says this is always great to listen to. He says this is new great tradition. Tuning in from Pakistan, our friend. All right. And Ken Castro asking Robbie Wartberg if there will be Federal League tonight. Robbie says quite possibly if there's time. There will be time, Robbie. There will be time. This is not going to be a long broadcast. So you have all night to do Federal League if you want, my friend. And besides, yes, there's always time. All right, Cobb batting with 2 down. Cobb has lined to second and grounded to first. Radbourne delivers. The 1-1 pitch, fastball. This one popped to foul territory. Bradley giving chase, but I think he's going to run out of room here near the dugout. This one is going to make the seats. And Cobb back in there now. A man's straw hat was tipped over there. A kind lady with a fine bosom, if you will, retrieves it for the gentleman. In the third base grandstands. Radbourne now to Cobb. Cobb gets a bunt down. Bunting with 2 down. Cobb will get this one as Chase comes in. Turns around and realizes that the Georgia Peach gets himself a bunt base hit. So that's only the 2nd hit in the game off of Radbourne. So Cobb at first. And what can we say about Ty Cobb? Of course, crazy fast runner. But platooning, except tonight, we have, or actually is platooning, Roush not in the starting lineup tonight. So sharing playing time with Ed Roush. Miller Huggins has grounded to third and flied to center. Cobb, good lead off first. Here is the wind and the delivery, the 1-2 pitch. The Mighty Mite swings in this fastball. Fly ball to center. Sliding Billy Hamilton has his sights on this ball and makes the catch. And Huggins gave it a ride. No runs, one hit, no errors, and one man left. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. And it's Providence 2, Bellingham nothing. Bid McPhee, Buck Ewing, and George Bradley due up for Liberty Tree. Eddie Plank pitching a hell of a ball game. 6 punch-outs, 5 of them. Those were called strike threes, but finds himself down 2-0. So Bid McPhee to face Eddie Plank. Buck Ewing waits on deck. The southpaw, Gettysburg Eddie, lets it go. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball, McPhee swings. Liner to third. Wisterzo makes the grab for 1 down. Beautiful day here in Massachusetts for baseball. It is 74 degrees. And it is calm, and just low humidity. You couldn't ask for a better day of baseball in early September. So guys, we're getting close. We are 1 week away. We're there. We're almost there. That magic day, the magic week of 13 February 2023, Pitchers and Catchers Report. Good stuff. Here is the pitch from Gettysburg Eddie, the 1-2 to Ewing. Chopper to short, Bill White up with it. And the throw to Sisler, and they will retire Ewing quite handily on the 6-3 put out. 2 down, and George Bradley now. Hot corner man for Providence has struck out and lined a single to left, so he's 1 for 2 against Eddie. Providence, 7 hits in this game. Plank with the delivery. Bradley, first pitch swinging, base into left. Delahanty up with it. Bradley makes the turn at first and holds. George Bradley, again, not fast at all. Just 1 stolen base in the season. Radbourne, 1 for 2. Eddie Plank ready to fire it in. Radbourne swinging on the first pitch. Base hit to right. Stengel up with it. Bradley starting to go for third. And Bradley going for 3. Stengel's throw. And Bradley in there in plenty of time. And Radbourne will make second on the play. And this ball, Wisterzo having trouble with the ball. And coming in to score is George Bradley. So a costly error on Casey Stengel, his 12th of the year. And those errors will kill you even more than the bases on balls. Mr. Stengel, Casey Stengel would say, decades from now that those bases on balls will kill you. So will the errors, Case. They'll double moita you. 3-0 Providence, 2 down. Radbourne 90 feet away. And sliding Billy Hamilton with 2 steals today. So calling for the hit away. Plank from the stretch to sliding Billy, the 1-1. And Hamilton sends this one up the middle. Huggins in on the ball. Quick snap onto Sisler to retire sliding Billy. And the side, but 1 runs, 2 hits on 1 costly error, 1 left. We go to the 7th. It's 3-0. Take a minute here and let's catch up. There's been a lot of chatter in the chat, which is what it's for. Ken Castro, who's talking about revenue? I got to go back a little bit here. Or way back. I think I've lost that conversation. Oh, okay. So, Cousin Ken Castro says, just saw your realignment, Big Clue. Phillies are screwed. Big Clue saying, Ken, they've got the revenue. They just need to be better with the front office. And then he says his National League East hopes have always been with Philadelphia and the New York Mets. Can't stand the Braves. And the Nats, Marlins are not entities. Can't stand the Braves either. I will agree with you on the Braves. I'm really happy with the Phils off-season, though, and hoping that Kimbrel recaptures the old magic. All right. Ken Castro says that Kimbrel could be huge if he's on his game. Christopher Slovic says, oh, George Bradley is the first Bill Buckner or Chico leaned. Nice call there, Christopher. All right, Ed Delahanty will lead it off here in the 7th for Bellingham. Old Haas with 3 strikeouts. Delahanty is grounded to second and bunted to the catcher. Radbourn, full count on Delahanty. Payoff pitch, fly ball to right field. Keeler going back on this one. It has some distance, but Keeler making the grab. 1 down for George Sisler. So this entire Bellingham lineup absolutely frustrated against Radbourn today. Radbourn just 2 hits given up. Sisler is fly to shallow center, grounded to second. Ewing sets the target. Radbourn fires it in. The 1-0 to Sisler. Sisler, little grounder to third. This one, nice hop to Bradley. Bradley with a strong throw to Chase, and they do just nip Sisler for out number 2. We could say that, Big Clue. Big Clue says, can we say that Casey Stengel is doing his best Sid Bream impersonation? All right, got a little bit of bench jockeying here from Clinton Parks. He says, Providence scum lose their AAA club. Philly fans, no wonder your mayors and govs like Lewisburg. Oh. Clinton Parks hitting hard at the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and particularly the city of brotherly love. Stengel batting with 2 down. The young professor flied to deep center and to very deep left, so Stengel seeing the ball pretty well from Radbourn, but not getting it done where it counts. Radbourn fires it in. The 3-0 to Stengel. Stengel lays off, and Radbourn issues his first free pass of the game. So Casey Stengel with 14 steals, and that brings up Jocko Milligan. Jocko Milligan is lined to first and singled in the 5th. Radbourn has the sign from Buck Ewing, the wind, and the 1-0 delivery to Milligan. Fastball swung on, and this one sent to short. John McGraw making a great play over there, going to his right to get to that ball. Milligan and Bellingham retired. 7th inning, stretch time. It is 3-0 Providence. Yep, I can't believe Sid still has the cojones to live in the Pittsburgh area. As Christopher Slovic says, Bream lives in Seneca Valley, north of Pittsburgh. So he wanted to recreate his Game 7 home run to score. Didn't want to recreate him running. I wanted to recreate his bad knees with a lead pipe. Exactly. Okay, so Clinton Parks giving me a little correction here that it was not aimed at the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but rather at the state of Rhode Island and Providence plantations. Keeler to lead it off here in the bottom of the 7th for Wee Willie. He has a single, and he has struck out and bunted out. Big Clue says to Christopher, yeah, you and Tanya Harding. Eddie Plank delivers now to Keeler. Here is the 1-2 pitch. Keeler, little pop fly on the right-hand side. Sisler running toward the stands, and Keeler pops out for out number 1. Joe Kelly, a frustrated 0-for-3 against Gettysburg Eddie. He has struck out twice, fly to shallow right. John McGraw waits on deck. Plank with the 0-1 delivery. Fastball to Kelly. This one lined to third, and Wisterzo right there to make the grab. 2 up, 2 down. Clinton Parks in fine form tonight. Fine form tonight. John McGraw, 2 for 3 in the game. Let's see what Mr. McGraw has done. RBI in the third and an infield single in the fifth. Clinton Parks is getting deep in here now. He says, no wonder I'm a diabetic with all the sappy sweet in this channel. Oh my God. All right, McGraw 2 for 3. Eddie Plank pitching with 2 out. The 2-0 delivery. McGraw swings. Bounding ball to Huggins. Easy 4-3 put out of Little Napoleon. And we go to the 8th. Providence holding on to this 3-0 lead. Providence scoring in the 3rd, 5th, and 6th. And it was something Steve Tate didn't know. And I was kind of surprised, but I'll show the rest of you guys. If you play Action PC Baseball, and why don't you? This is kind of something that's really cool. When you hover over any frame, you will see how the inning played out. So we can go down here to the 3rd and see exactly everything that happened and how Providence scored its run. I've never seen another baseball game that does this. This is so cool. So you're kind of getting this running summary. Good stuff. So there you go. And then if you want to see the entire box score, all you have to do is just kind of go up toward and there you go. Then you have the box score also in progress. But I really, I think this is a great feature in Action PC Baseball. One of the things that makes it so cool. All right, Wisterzill is 0 for 2 here in the 8th. He'll be followed by Bill White and Eddie Plank. Wisterzill has grounded out twice. Old Haas has struck out 3, walked 1. Here is the delivery, the 1-0 pitch to Wisterzill. Curveball swung on, chopping ball to 3rd. Bradley up with it. The throw across to Diamond, and Prince Howell making the easy reception of that ball. 1 away for shortstop Bill White. He struck out, ground to short. This is the other feature, of course. Hover over, and you get to see what the hitter did. With out of the park, you kind of have to... Out of the park's just weird, the way you do it. And I'm not dissing out of the park baseball. I love it, too. But this has... Dave Cook has thought of so many cool little features in this game. Radbourne delivers now with 1 down. First pitch swinging, comebacker, Old Haas grabbing it to the rear of the bump and taking care of Mr. White, and that brings up Eddie Plank. Plank 0 for 2, and he has struck out twice against Old Haas. Old Haas looking for the trifecta. Not going to happen here. Plank swinging on the first pitch. Routine fly ball. Sliding Billy Hamilton lights the campfire and makes the catch. Side retired. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and it's Providence 3 and Bellingham 0. Providence 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Providence has stranded 7. Bellingham, no runs, 2 hits, 3 errors, and they have left 3. Hal Chase, Bid McPhee, and Buck Ewing due up here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Hal Chase has struck out, flied out, and lined to first. Eddie Plank looking for strikeout number 7. Here is the wind and the 3-0 to Chase. Chase lays off of that one. This one just off the corner, and Eddie Plank delivering his first free pass in the game. Hal Chase has stolen 20 in the season thus far and thrown 50 games. So Hal Chase having his usual season. Delivery now from Eddie Plank to McPhee. Will the runner go? Hal Chase does not go. McPhee fly ball to right field. Stengel going back and brings the horsehide to the cowhide. 1 away for Buck Ewing, 1 for 3. Ewing's been absolutely, again, don't let that 252 average fool you. Ewing has been great in this league. Today's line to single, and he's grounded to short twice. Chase Slight lead off first, and I see it. Cousin Ken, and I'm hoping that's for now. Big Clue says, I love how Aaron talks about I remember regarding the year he was born. He says, my memories of that year are largely dark, wet, and warm. Christopher Slovic says, Beatles, I need your opinion for Fowler Park Baseball. Should I create the 1900s town leagues that Pennsylvania used to have with extremely low-rated baseball players, or should I use historical players? Well, that's a really, really good question. I think it would be fun. If you could do it, wow, it would be a lot of work, Christopher. It would be really fun to do it, because right in the 1900s, one of those, well, he wasn't low rated, but we would see a very young Rube Waddell, right, from Punxsutawney. That's a pretty cool idea. That's some serious digging into baseball history. I think it'd be fun, but I also think, Christopher, you could do a lot just with those. If you wanted to sprinkle some of the players, maybe mix it up a little bit. Because in PA, you think of some of the great players we have in Pennsylvania: Wagner, Waddell, Plank. I think that would be fun. Oh, Clinton Park's really talking trash here. Okay, so Cousin Ken calling for the hit and run. All right. Ewing batting, one down. Here is the delivery. Chase is off to the races. Milligan up with it, the throw down. Huggins with the tag. And this time the hit and run does not work. Prince Howe tripping over possibly... Don't know if Prince Howe's going to be going to the track afterwards or not, but Howe dead to rights. So 2 away. Base is empty. Buck Ewing 1 for 3. Delivery by Gettysburg Eddie, the 1-0. This one popped in the infield. Bill White calling for it. This one could bring rain here in Massachusetts, but it does not. But it does find a home in Bill White's glove. We go to the 9th. Bellingham with 3 chances to tie it up. Top of their order, Ty Cobb, Miller Huggins, and Ed Delahanty. Clinton Parks says to Christopher Slovic, you may be creating a league where that even Beatles and Cousin can play in, and they may even be the top dogs. Clinton Parks is just talking the smack tonight, making up for those nights, what was it, a couple weeks ago when he had to shovel all the water. And we wonder if Clinton Parks could let us know, where does the white go when snow melts? Because I would like to know where it goes. All right. Ty Cobb 1 for 3 as we're getting near the end of the game and the broadcast. Ty Cobb is lined to second, grounded to first, and he had a bunt single back in the 6th. Radbourne looking for the complete game shutout, a 2-hitter. Thus far, the 1-0 delivery to the Georgia Peach. Cobb swings, bounding ball up to first. Hal Chase will take this one unassisted to retire Cobb out number 1. The Mighty Might, Miller Huggins, gave it a ride to deep center back in the 6th. Unable to solve Old Haas. The 1-0, fastball, Huggins swings, fly ball to right. Keeler ranging back on this one, and he will make the catch. 2 up, 2 down. It's down to Big Ed Delahanty. He is grounded to second, bunted to the catcher, and flied down the right field line. Radbourne winds and fires the 1-2 to Delahanty, and this game ends with a strikeout. Old Haas with 4 strikeouts in the game. Providence over Bellingham 3-0. Let's go to our game recap. So Providence, doing its best to stay in the race. 3 games above 500, improves to 69 and 66. Bellingham falls to 67 and 68, a game below 500. Providence 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Bellingham no runs, 2 hits, 3 errors. Not really much offense to speak of, except Billy Hamilton unnerving Eddie Plank a little bit. Plank falls to 21 and 9. Old Haas improves to 27 and 21. Eddie Plank went 8 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned, walked 1, struck out 6 in the losing bid. His ERA at 2.61. And Old Haas, 9 complete, 2-hit shutout, walked 1, and struck out 4. Let's check our miscellaneous really quickly. Not much to talk about this game. Stolen bases all Providence. Hamilton with the pair, McGraw with a theft, and Willie Keeler with 1. Stengel picked up his 12th error of the year. Jocko Milligan, 2 errors in the game, and one of those errors very costly. So his 11th. Hal Chase was caught stealing. John McGraw picks up RBI number 46. Bill White with 2 great plays. McGraw also with 2. Hal Chase with 1. Bellingham stranded 3. Providence stranded 7. The game-winning RBI. John McGraw and the MVP Old Haas Radborn. All right, we will auto-play the rest of the games. It is 10:12 p.m., so there will be plenty of time for Robbie Wartburg and Federal League Baseball as Cousin Ken Castro sends up the fireworks for the Providence win. So Providence, before we auto-play these games, 6.5 out. Butler and Philadelphia both tied for 3rd. Cleveland just 3 games back in 2nd place. So here we go. We have Liverpool at Manchester, Arsenal at Butler, Philadelphia at Carolina, and Cleveland at St. Louis. St. Louis with a chance to maybe play a little spoiler baseball against these Cleveland Spiders. And we will start with Cleveland. No, we will wait because Cleveland is in 2nd place. Let's go to Arsenal and Butler. Arsenal at 64 and 70. And Butler at 69 and 65. Here we go. And Butler edging Arsenal 6-5. So the manager in here tonight. So Smokey Joe Wood gets the win. He improves to 14 and 5. And Dave Fouts takes the loss. He goes to 10 and 15. Ginger Beaumont went 5 for 5 in this ball game with 2 triples and 2 steals. So great job by Ginger Beaumont. Next up, Philadelphia and Carolina. Carolina playing a little spoiler baseball here, edging Philadelphia 1-0. Frank Kitson gets the win. He goes to 11-9. Ed Walsh takes the loss. He goes to 20 and 14. Kitson with a complete game. He struck out 3. Next, Liverpool facing 1st place Manchester. Manchester at 500 right now. Or Liverpool at 500, 67 and 67. Manchester at 75 and 59. Here we go. And Manchester easily takes care of Liverpool 6-2. So Jake Weimer gets the win. He goes to 15 and 12. Mickey Welch takes the loss for Liverpool. He goes to 18 and 13. But Bad Bill Dolland going 3 for 4 with a triple and a steal for Liverpool in a losing cause. And finally, Cleveland and St. Louis. And St. Louis does indeed play a little spoiler baseball as they edge Cleveland 5-4. Kid Nichols gets the win. He goes to 11 and 16. Cy Seymour tagged with a loss for Cleveland, 4 and 13. All right. Let's let everything update, and we'll look at our standings. Christopher Slovik, if you go to Google Newspapers, you can see Butler, PA newspapers from 1907. Keep us posted, Christopher, on what you'll be doing for. I mean, 'cause it sounds like an interesting project. This is cool. He says on the 2nd page you can see the lineups and teams. That would be fun. That would be fun. As Robbie Wartburg proudly says that he will be pleased to share more of the baseball game he loves and the Federal League. Well, I won't hold you guys up too much longer. We'll make this a much shorter broadcast. I don't have any plans tonight. Just going to kind of let Robbie do his thing tonight. I was on way too long last night. All right. So, St. Louis definitely helping out Manchester with that victory. So Cleveland in 2nd place now 4 games back. Butler, 6 games out. So those two teams, Cleveland 12 games from elimination, Butler 10. However, the top two teams will play in a mini 3-game World Series. Of course, the team finishing first will get the first game at home, and if a game 3 is necessary. So home field advantage there. So Butler's still in the race, and then we start to get into maybe. So Philadelphia and Providence, each at 3 games above 500, 7 back. Bellingham and Liverpool, it's pretty much over for them now. They're 9 games out. I don't see them. And Liverpool was playing pretty well all year, but now dropping into the second division. Bellingham and Liverpool each a game below 500, 7 games out from elimination. Carolina 66 and 69, strong team early in the season. In our first playthrough league, Carolina did very well, but Carolina has fallen precipitously. Carolina at 66 and 69, 10 games back, 6 games from elimination. Arsenal 64 and 71. 12 games back, 4 games from elimination, and St. Louis picking up the win tonight. So, but 55 and 80, and St. Louis eliminated. Batting leaders, really a lot hasn't changed. Keeler trying to sneak up on Hannes Wagner in terms of steals. Wagner leading the league with 52. Keeler with 49. Joe Kelly with 47. So a very fast Providence team. Lajoie still leading the league. His batting average 343. However, taking over the second spot from Tris Speaker is Dan Bruthers at 316. Jesse Burkett hitting 307. Speaker hitting 302. So we only have 4 300 hitters in this league. No surprise. Earned run average, nothing changing there. In fact, Walter Johnson even getting lower. A 1.09 earned run average. But look at this. I think one of the keys for Manchester, and we can take a quick look, well, we will right there, even without looking at the entire longer pitching report. So the top 3 leaders in ERA, we got to add in Ed Walsh because he is tied for 3rd. All pitchers from Manchester. Tough. Walter Johnson, Pete Alexander, Jake Weimer. Jake Weimer making it, I mean, of course, every player in the baseball history collection, it happened that Weimer had a great year. So competing with the big dogs. Ed Walsh at 1.90. John Montgomery Ward for Cleveland, ERA of 1.94. And then finally, Jack Feaster, again, for Manchester, a 1.95 earned run average. Rounding out the top 10, Rube Waddell at an even 2 for his ERA. Three Finger Brown to 2.08. Mathewson 2.16. Also Mickey Welch for Liverpool 2.16. Really Mickey Welch, and for my team, Mickey Welch and Tris Speaker, really, you know, the only real highlights. Old Haas Radborn, of course, we know, and wins, but we have some 20-game winners here. So Radborn, Galvin, Plank, Walsh, Mathewson. Rube Waddell, no surprise, leading the league in strikeouts with 216. We're going to have to play an Arsenal game soon just to see the great Rube Waddell. I'm looking for a Waddell-Johnson matchup. It'll be fun. Johnson second in strikeouts with 191. Christy Mathewson with 186. Johnson, his whip a .839. Ed Walsh at 912. Alexander at 950. The team batting, Manchester leading in team batting and team pitching. Manchester hitting 248 as a team. Cleveland at 246. Providence at 242. Manchester team ERA of 2.00. Philadelphia 2.34. Cleveland 2.53. The starting 9 All-Stars, and we will have our All-Star game against the 1929 Philadelphia Athletics before the end of the season. So Old Haas Radborn will be the starting pitcher. Buck Ewing catching, Dan Bruthers at first, Nap Lajoie at second, Jimmy Collins at third, Hannes Wagner at short, Delahanty in left, Speaker in center, and Keeler in right. Looks like the league MVP is going to be Napoleon Lajoie as we get down to the end of it, and Old Haas Radborn, in line for the Cy Young Award. So how about that? And coming in to the game tonight, Cleveland manager Todd B. was in the running for Manager of the Year. Now it looks like it is going to be MV. So there we go. Christopher Slovic says he's at work. Please be on way too long. It is World's Worst Gamer. World's Worst Gamer says this is Manchester's largest lead in a long time. Yes, it is indeed. They have never led. In fact, another nice thing about Action PC Baseball, as you know, World's Worst Gamer, that we can go back and check standings all through the season, what have you. But yes, Manchester has never held a 4-game lead, so they're starting to pull away. Again, we auto-played this league kind of, sort of, mostly one time before, and Manchester won it by 2 games. So Manchester pulling away a bit more this time. I don't want to count anybody out yet. Well, I would say at this point, I mean, it really looks like, I mean, Cleveland was keeping pace with Manchester, but that St. Louis win against Cleveland today really hurt. So Butler, Philadelphia, and Providence still, I think they're still in there. Bellingham, Liverpool, Carolina, Arsenal, I think they're out of it. St. Louis, of course, is. So there we go. So Cousin Ken, you have traditionally, historically, whatever, chosen what we do for Super Bowl Sunday. So Cousin Ken, what do we do on Super Bowl Sunday? Let me know. Just give me at least one. Hoping, work hours permitting, Monday that we can do a doubleheader that night. But what would you like to see, cousin? Should be able to put it together by then. Oh, the other announcement, yeah. Hardy Richardson, who is the league leader in home runs, finally hit his 12th. So for the Butler Yankees. So that's some good stuff. Unless Robbie would like to do I always do something. I mean, I could do one game. Robbie could do something. I always do something baseball related on that cursed night. So whether it's read a book, watch a film, play a game, or what have you, there will be baseball on Super Bowl Sunday. D. Scott House says we're selling playoff tickets. Ken wants to see the Puppy Bowl. Ain't no party like a Hardy party, says Big Clue. Softy like soft furry things. Clinton, Cousin Ken Castro says Clinton talking a lot of shit for a team eliminated. Here we go. They are going at it. They're going at it. Robbie, you think every game should be a baseball for Windows game. Let's face it, pal. All right. I'm glad you love it, Robbie. Right? I'm glad I do too. I mean, I do. I do. I love the game very much. I really, really do. I think you might need some intervention, my friend. And I say that in all, yeah, as a comrade there, buddy. What are we going to do with 1912? Because we finished the 1912 World Series yesterday, Cousin Ken. The Red Sox won it in 6. World's Worst Gamer says an interesting idea for some channel to do for Super Bowl Sunday would be do a baseball game with players who played that other game. That'll be nice tonight, World's Worst Gamer. Played that other game in college or pro also. No, you weren't here. It was yesterday, and I still have. I haven't deleted it yet from Out of the Park baseball. It's still there. I just have to delete it. So at least Appa has Ernie. Yeah, exactly. If Robbie were playing Stratomatic PC baseball, that would require intervention. At least Appa has Ernie. Yeah, I definitely, it was baseball for Windows. The first game, we did a doubleheader that night. It was Super Bowl 2019, and the first game was it was Chicago and Pittsburgh in the Federal League. I believe it was 1915. And then the second game was that Red Sox-Yankees 1978 game. Ken Castro says the 1929 World Series, 1935 World Series, anything but the that other game bowl. I'm being nice tonight to World's Worst Gamer. He doesn't like when I call it, well, I'll say it once, he doesn't like when I call it F-Bowl, or F-Ball, whatever. So for tonight, I will call it that other game. The 1918 World Series, played in September. Played in September, right? Baseball's, or the government's Woodrow Wilson's work or fight order curtailed the 1918 baseball season. We could do two. I definitely would like to do, I think the 1929 World Series would be fun. That being said, though, I haven't done a lot of 1930s baseball, so tell you what, let's bring up out of the park baseball. Look at that. It's going to be an out of the park baseball because it's super fast to set up a World Series in out of the park baseball. So let us see, and then yeah, whatever. All right, and and let's bring up Steam. And I have to change so that this will actually see Steam. There we go. Screen going black while Steam fires up. Tom Brady. What? Who's this? Who's Tom Brady? Is he related to Mike Brady, Marsha Brady, Jan Brady? Is he related to those Bradys? All right, let me close this. I haven't looked at my what do I want to buy from Steam today? Probably nothing. But anyhow, let's go to my Steam library and go to Out of the Park 23. Ooh, update for Aaron North Chronicles. Awesome. Which means nothing to anybody here. Except Robbie. Robbie played it for a couple minutes. Great game, though. Great game. No, Cousin Ken, you can say hockey. Hockey is not a curse word here. Basketball is not a curse word here. There is only one curse word. There's only one. All right. So here we are in Out of the Park Baseball 23. I know Christopher Slovic, also a big fan of this wonderful game, and it truly is wonderful. This one's a little bit more challenged to call because it's faster, but it's fun. Strange, we haven't seen Steve Tate 2 nights running. So, yeah. All right. Anyhow, World Series. We can set it up right now. So we would do an historical exhibition, and this is how easy it is. You can switch things. It's so nice. You just pick any 2 teams in baseball history. You can set it as a World Series. This is also where you set up whatever you want. It's so cool. So you can have, of course, in this game, you can have up to 70 teams in a tournament. You can select a World Series, and there they are. So Cousin Ken said 1935. Let's look at 1935 World Series as one of them, as a possible. All right, and so here we go. This could be fun. This could be fun. So Cubs Tigers. So let's do the recap of it. So, 1935, Detroit featured the best offense in baseball and held off a late charge from the Yankees to win their 2nd consecutive American League pennant. And then, led by National League MVP Gabby Hartnett, who that year hit .344, 13 home runs, and 91 runs batted in. Strong pitching, Chicago Cubs won 100 games and met the Tigers in the World Series. Detroit defeated the Cubs 4-2 for their first series championship as starter Tommy Bridges won 2 games for the Tigers. Hank Greenberg earned the American League Most Valuable Player award with a .328 average, 36 home runs, and 170 runs batted in. Pitcher Wes Ferrell was 25-14 for the 4th place Red Sox while adding a .347 average with 7 homers at the plate. Pirates shortstop Archie Vaughn, love Archie Vaughn, hit .385 to win the National League batting title at the age of 23. The first night game in history was played at Crosley Field in Cincinnati on May 24th. So there's the 1935 series, which could be exciting. Cousin Ken, of course, the 1929 series, which really needs no introduction, but we will certainly we'll look at it. Let's look at it. The other thing, too, that you can do is you can select a World Series, which you can play it in any era that you want. So, again, something that you can do in Action PC Baseball as well. Let's look at 1929. We'll look at a couple of World Series, and maybe we'll do a poll in the chat. But, all right. So what do we have here? The Cubs and the A's in 1929. So, in 1929, to recap quickly, Philadelphia began a historic 3-year run in the American League by winning 104 games, 18 games better, and I love that, than the second-place Yankees. The Athletics faced the pennant-winning Chicago Cubs in the World Series and dispatched them in 5 games to win the championship. These 29 A's are brutal. These are the guys that the Ned McGreevy League All-Stars are going to face. So Chicago led 8-0 in Game 4 before Philadelphia scored 10 late runs for a legendary comeback victory that all but secured the title for Connie Mack's team. Phillies outfielder Lefty O'Doul hit .398 for the National League batting crown, while Cleveland's Lou Fonseca hit .369, 6 home runs, 103 runs batted in with 19 steals, edged Al Bucketfoot Simmons for the top average in the American League. Babe Ruth led the league in home runs for the 10th time in 12 years, while Al Simmons finished in the top 3 in average homers and runs batted in. The Athletics tandem of Lefty Grove and George Earnshaw combined for 44 wins, while finishing in the top 5 of earned run average and strikeouts. Cubs second baseman Rogers Hornsby hit .380 with 156 runs scored in his last legendary season. The New York Yankees added numbers to the back of uniforms in 1929. So there you go. A practice all teams would adopt over the next few seasons. So that's the 29 World Series. So we have 2 possible World Series. No, I'm not going to turn off the animation on Out Park Baseball. Why would I do that? Nope. Nope. Coming in hot again. Hey, there's Aaron Reed. How you doing, buddy? Finally, Aaron Reed. Aaron, again, people are just loving the fact you and Robbie Wartburg doing a great job. Hopefully we get Robbie on here sometime, maybe through his PC as opposed to his phone, so we can hear him a little bit better. But you guys did a great job. The Childs of the 90 too. Oh, can you turn off the animation? I've never tried it. So again, Robbie, so hockey. You can say hockey. So the following 2 sports, well, 3 sports, or any other sport. The following sports, I'm going to type for a minute because I don't know what else to say. These are not curse words. Okay, I'm sure I can think of more. Those are not curse words. You can chat them out, man. I don't know World's Worst Gamer. That's a good question. I do not know if I know that you can play the game to make it look like a really pretty version of Diamond Mine Baseball, though. I do know that. I've never tried turning off the animations because I like them. So I never tried. Curling is fine. Women's mud wrestling is absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. However, greyhound racing, no. Greyhound racing can actually get you kicked out of the channel, whether you have a wrench or not, because that is cruelty. No, I actually call soccer football. So you can call it, no, soccer is fine. Soccer is cool. The greyhound racing, yep. By the way, and let's not get into any bullshit. Can we just take a moment, please? Pray, remember, think about the victims of that terrible, terrible earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria today. Seriously, can we stop the chat for just 1 minute? And I don't want any getting off into any bullshit discussions. Thousands of people died today in that earthquake. So could we just give it a minute, please? And then we'll go back to this stuff. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it. All right. Big Lou. He said my favorite sport is really NASCAR. Let me see. How many drivers' names do I know in NASCAR? Well, there were the two Dale Earnhardts. There was There was some guy named Jeff Gordon, right? So there you go. Who else drives in those cars? I have no idea. I really do not have any idea. Tom Brady? I don't know. Robbie Wartburg says he wishes there was a PC NASCAR game. So are there NASCAR fans in here? Seriously? Are there? I'm just curious. If you know one thing about Brady is that his team is responsible for his success. So I'm just curious if there are NASCAR fans. I know nothing about it, obviously. Are there NASCAR fans here? Just curious. I'm not going to smack you or anything or say, oh, you're in Egypt. I'm just curious if there are NASCAR fans in here. I know that, what's his name, Rob, exclamation point, does a lot of NASCAR stuff, and he's a big, no, it's not going to turn political. You kidding me? What's to be political? I'm just curious about who's a NASCAR fan here. So Wordsworth Gamer says as a kid he said he loved playing the NASCAR games until his fingers blistered. Okay. Old school, says Clinton Parks. Wordsworth Gamer says he likes NASCAR, but he's not in NASCAR country, and so nobody to follow it with. Okay. I was just curious. Because I know there's like people into NASCAR and then people into like Formula One. And so I mean I'm more familiar with like Grand Prix and stuff like that, and cars driving like crazy through cities, which I think is pretty wild. I remember first year I was at a Grand Prix in Rotterdam, and those cars are flying through those streets and just echoing off the tall buildings. I mean, Rotterdam is the largest port city in Europe. It was incredible. It's not like I became a Grand Prix fan, but it was amazing to see. It was really something cool. Kind of freaky too. So loved it. Good stuff. Okay, so Clinton Parks helped me out here. Richard Petty. Okay, I've heard of him. The Allisons and Unsers, the Yarboroughs. That's like the Yardbirds, right? With Jeff Beck and right. So the Yarboroughs. Okay. Cousin Ken says he got to cover it a few times. Went into Tony Stewart's trailer, and that guy was insane. Tony Stewart, wasn't he? So let me see. Yeah, Indy drivers, let's see. I know a couple Indy drivers. Mario Andretti, right? So I know him, but he's like way back in the past. And so was some other dude, I can't remember his name right now. So there you go. I know one Indy driver at least, Mario Andretti. Al Unser. Al Unser was an Indy driver, which is not NASCAR, I know that. So, Big Clue saying the only Yarbrough he knows is the Rays pitcher Ryan Yarbrough. All right. So, World Series. Any other World Series ideas? Because Cousin Ken has put up 2. We could look at 2 more, and then we'll make a poll in the chat and see the series getting the most votes and the second votes. We'll do a World Series doubleheader on. It'll be like a Game 7 thing or something. I don't know. I'll set it up on Out of the Park through the thing that if it comes to whatever that last game is, whether it's a game that has to even up the series or what have you. Because, I mean, the entire World Series would be a possible 14-game stream. Holy shit. Although as long as we stay on here sometime, we possibly could do 2 complete World Series. 1934, there's a great one. That's a great World Series also. Clinton Park's talking about World Series. Let's look at it. One of my all-time favorite teams playing in that World Series. The Gas House Gang, baby. Detroit Tigers, St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis beat the Tigers 11-0 in Game 7 to capture the 1934 World Series. That was the team's 3rd championship in 9 years. And that's the one where all right, and all the Tigers fans are throwing like glass soda bottles at Medwick in left field. Landis begging Medwick to leave, and it was crazy. The Gas House Gang featured the hitting of first baseman Ripper Collins. Ripper Collins, of course, the home run champ that year. 335 home runs, 128 runs batted in. And outfielder Joe Ducky Medwick, 319, home runs, 106 runs batted in. And the pitching of league MVP Dizzy Dean, who went 30-7. A 2.66 earned run average, 195 strikeouts. Detroit catcher Black Mike Mickey Cochran won his 2nd American League MVP award despite better seasons from teammate Charlie Gehringer and Yankee stars Lefty Gomez and Lou Gehrig. Gehrig, 363 average, 49 home runs, 165 runs batted in, led the American League in all Triple Crown categories, while Gomez paced the junior circuit with 26 wins, a 2.33 earned run average, and 158 strikeouts. Pittsburgh outfielder Paul Wainer won his 2nd batting title with a 362 average. Giants Mel Ott, 325, 35 home runs, 135 ribbies, and Carl Hubble, what a beast, 21-12, 2.33 earned run average, also had fine seasons, but New York fell 2 games short of the Cardinals for 2nd place. A great World Series, too. Love it. 1934. And 1924, Senators and Giants. All right, I think we have our 4 candidates. The 1924, the only Senators World Championship, featuring one of the most amazing performances by Walter Johnson, nearing the end of his career, and Grover Cleveland Alexander would do pretty much the same thing in 1926. The St. Louis Cardinals winning their 1st World Championship. So the Washington Senators won 92 games and captured their 1st ever American League pennant over the Yankees. Washington's pitching was the key as they held their American League opponents to a mere 613 runs. And Walter Johnson, 23-7, 2.72 earned run average, 158 strikeouts, was the league's top hurler. The New York Giants won their 4th straight National League flag, but lost Game 7 of the World Series 4-3 in extra innings as the Senators won their only championship in the nation's capital. Babe Ruth paced the majors and homers yet again with 46, while only 5 others even hit as many as 20 round-trippers. Ruth also won his only batting title in 1924 with a 378 average. Brooklyn's Dazzy Vance, who went 28-6 and a 2.16 earned run average, 262 strikeouts, had a breakout season at the age of 34. and topped the senior circuit in wins, earned run average, complete games, and strikeouts. Pitcher Grover Cleveland Alexander won his 300th game in September as a member of the Chicago Cubs. All right, good stuff. Good stuff, man. All right. Todd B says, evening, could we play 1926 World Series and hope Ruth doesn't try to steal a base to end it? How about it? Todd, you've heard me talk about that about 477 times on this channel, right, buddy? Oh, my. World's Worst Gamer, maybe in time you will, though, again. It's fun. Maybe come on and simulcast with one of us sometime. That way it's no muss, no fuss for you. All right, let's do a poll. So we have 4 World Series, I believe. Okay. So, just vote for a series, and then the top 2 vote getters, I will get them played down to where the World Series is on a line. Okay. For the Stupor, S-T-U-P-O-R, bowl. How about it? All right, here we go. So we had 1929, I'm just taking them in order they were given. 1935, add option 1934, and 1924. All right, so 4 World Series to pick from, and here we go. Hopefully. Yep, okay. I am not going to look. You guys just go ahead and vote. Please, everybody vote. We have 10 people in here. And we'll give it a couple minutes. 1904, Todd B. Because John McGraw refused to play. They would have met the Philadelphia Athletics in the 1904 series. McGraw said no, and then agreed to play the World Series in 1905 when he realized that his players had lost money. McGraw was always such a good guy in that respect. So it was 1904. The 1904 World Series. That's something we could do, like, just right now. Well, not right now, but we could do a 1904 World Series and play it out over a bunch of nights. Let's see what the time is. 10:49. We could do one more game if Robbie is okay. Well, the reason being, Robbie, and again, Robbie, Society for American Baseball Research. So John McGraw hated Ban Johnson, the president of the National League, or American League, and I'm not kidding. He hated him, hated the American League, had wanted nothing to do with them, and he did not. He said no, and his owner, John T. Brush, I believe it was the owner. He was the owner of the Giants. Stood behind him, and there was no World Series. McGraw refused to play. Yet, continuous World Series from 1903 to present, excepting 1904, 1994. Big clue. That's right. Oh, it was Boston. Yeah. It was Boston. It was 1905, though, that the Giants would face the Athletics. So thank you, Clinton, for that. I don't think anybody speaks about 1994 anywhere. Just ask anybody from Montreal, right? But yeah, Robbie, McGraw hated Ban Johnson and just hated him. Ban Johnson was not a likable guy. He was a bit of an autocrat. Big clue. We were talking about this yesterday in Steve Tate's stream. There was the National Commission, which Gary Herman of Cincinnati was the titular head, but Ban Johnson was the real power in baseball at that time. He really was. Big Clue says the real reason the owners hired Landis wasn't over the 19th series, but because of an incident proceeding, regarding how Ban Johnson handled Carl May's defection from the Red Sox. Yep. Clinton Parks offering a little bit of trivia. In the 1905 World Series, every game was a shutout. Big Clue says the American League was divided deeply. Between pro and anti-Ban Johnson camps among its ownership. What was it that they said that somebody said about Van Johnson, and they mentioned it in the Ken Burns baseball documentary that Van Johnson looked like he was weaned on an icicle. The anti-Van Johnson faction got the National League on board to hire Landis basically to neuter Johnson. Johnson had power. But yeah, that's it, Robbie. John McGraw said nope. But he did relent the next year, not because he became buddy-buddy with the American League or because he liked, he decided he liked Van Johnson, because he knew that his players lost revenue. Okay, the poll is done. Yes, he was. Absolutely, big clue pointing out that, ironically, Landis was much worse an authoritarian. Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis said no to integration. He said no and no and no and no, and he said no. So, man, we got a tie. All right, so nobody wants to see 1924. So 1935, a clear winner, and we have a dead heat between 1929 and 1934. Big Clue says, I've always thought of Kennesaw Landis and Andrew Jackson as basically the same person. They kind of had the same hair. That's for sure. All right. So I'll make a note to self. World's Worst Gamer said no Yankees World Series. Well, we could put up a we could, so the World Series we could do any time. I'm just so 1935 definitely. I'll write this down. 1935 World Series. All right. So we have a dead heat between 1929 and 1934. And so what I'm going to do is let you guys vote again. I'm not gonna create a new poll. So go ahead and vote again. And this time vote for, well, nobody voted for 1924, so 1935 will be one of them. So game whatever it will be. So go ahead, please do it another couple minutes here, and there we go. Robbie getting Federal League ready, so I won't keep you guys, actually. Vivate, vivate, vivate. So 1935 World Series for sure. I'm not voting in this, obviously. So. All right, we can end the poll. There's one vote for 1929, two for 1929, I'll make you a deal, World's Worst Gamer. Not for Super Bowl night, but if you would want to come on one night, 3 for 1929 now. Some night when you're ready, right? We'll get you on Discord, voice chat. Just come on and just do some color, talk some baseball. I'll do I'll do a Yankees World Series of your choice, and we'll do it. We'll do the entire World Series over a number of nights. How about that? So I'd love to have you on, man. You know your baseball. I think it'd be a lot of fun. All right, 1929 is our other World Series. So Cousin Ken Castro, looks like you picked it anyhow. So 1935 and 1929. All right, there we go. And 1929, I'm making this executive decision. I will be Kennesaw Mountain Landis. The 1929 World Series will be the nightcap. That's going to be the nightcap. Oh, okay, no pressure. Do a hypothetical Yanks-Giants 1954 series. Super easy in this game to do it. Super easy to do it. Damn it, I wish it wasn't so late. I don't want to keep Robbie waiting, though. It's 9:56 where he is, so. Tell you what, we'll set it up, though. Let's pick a year, number of teams, and we're not going to do... All right, so let's select an away team. So 1954, huh? All right. So golden years, we want 1954. New York Giants. Okay, and then our home team. Whoops, got to switch eras here. I like how it does the era thing. It's so cool. I like it, like it, like it. 1954. New York Yankees. Okay, that's a great idea. All right, so there we go. It's actually ready to go. Super modern. Expos, White Sox. I think there's a lot of other guys that would do that. So probably not Cousin Ken, but your 2 World Series, one for Super Bowl Sunday. Now, I will let you guys know it's going to depend on my work schedule. So if I have to be there at like 7 in the morning on Monday, that means our broadcast is going to start earlier than I usually do, so that we can get both of these World Series games in, the final games of the 1929 and 1935 World Series. If I don't have to be, then for the other game fans in here and you want to catch some baseball afterwards, it'll be a little bit later. You guys will know. I will know probably tomorrow. Although there's not going to be baseball tomorrow. So, but I will let you guys know in Discord and in the next broadcast. All right. So here was the 1954 recap. After 3 straight second-place finishes, the Cleveland Indians won 111 games in the American League pennant, led by 23-game winners Early Wynn and Bob Lemon. Center fielder Larry Doby, 272, 32 home runs, 126 ribbies, and batting champ Bobby Avila. The New York Giants beat out the Dodgers and the Braves for the National League pennant, then swept the favored Indians to win the 1954 World Series. Willie Mays had his first breakout season. He's hit .345 with 41 homers and 110 ribbies to win his first Most Valuable Player award for the champs. Johnny Antonelli led the Giants' rotation with 21 wins and a 2.30 earned run average. Catcher Yogi Berra for the Yanks, 307, 22 dingers, 125 ribbies, won his second MVP award for the second-place Yanks. Cincinnati's Ted Kluszewski led the majors with 49 home runs and 141 runs batted in. So milestones and moments from 1954. The new Baltimore Orioles lost 100 games to in their first season since moving from St. Louis. Of course, as you guys know, they were the St. Louis Browns. Hank Aaron hit his first home run on April 23rd. Braves first baseman Joe Adcock hit 4 home runs against the Dodgers on 31st July. And one of the most famous defensive plays in baseball history, you guys already know it, Mays made an over-the-head catch of a Vic Wertz drive in the 8th inning of Game 1 of the 1954 World Series, preserving a 2-2 tie. In a game the Giants won in extra innings, Bill Dickey, Rabbit Moranville, and Bill Terry became Hall of Famers in 1954. Good stuff. All right. Have a great night, Big Clue. He says he's going to hit the hay tomorrow. Early start tomorrow. Thank you, my friend, for coming in as always. Yep. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and create this exhibition. We'll let the Yanks be the home team. And that is exactly how easy it is to do. And we're playing in 1954 settings, the whole thing. Injuries are enabled. And we can edit teams' rosters and then proceed to playing the games. Cool. There we go. So there are the rosters. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's look at these lineups. And here, Monty Irvin. So we're looking at the Giants right now. So Monty Irvin, Don Mueller, Willie Mays, Hank Thompson, Al Dark, Whitey Lockman, Rick Hatt, Davey Williams. And you also get the depth charts in here and stuff like that. So lots of fun. And let's look at, oh my God, how do I look at the, oh, there we go. Then to look at the Yankees. So who do we have here? I just want to make sure this guy had some, oh yeah, okay. Andy Carey, Irv Noren, Bill Skowron, Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, Hank Bauer, Gil McDougald, and Phil Rizzuto. And I don't know if anybody wants to change up any lineups or anything. I don't think we need to. It's ready to go. It is ready to go. Let me look at teams and rules. So that's good. Rosters and lineups. I just want to make sure that we have what we want to do here. I think we're good to go. We're good to go. It's really that easy. And then we're going to play ball. Clint Park's going to crash. Okay, so it's ready to go. And we're going to see Johnny Antonelli and Whitey Ford when we do this hypothetical World Series. So we're going to treat this like we have the 1912 World Series, which is over, the 1909 World Series, which we have yet to finish, the Pirates facing elimination in that one. These will be played this will be played every once in a while, so this is something we're not going to knock out in a week. We could be doing Game 7 in April. Who knows? But it's set up. So I'm going to go ahead and return to the Out of the Park main screen. So nice tip also, Out of the Park owners, as you know, back in the day, you would have to learn to load a different game to sort of rename a game. Not anymore. You can actually do it right away. So here I can just rename this to the 1954 World Series. That was always a pain in the ass that you had to do it the other way. I'm glad they fixed that. Bang. There we go. I've never finished the 1921 World Series yet. I'm just curious where that is, and then we'll call it a broadcast. Oh, this one's tied up, too. We got to play this one some night. We got to go to Game 5. This was a best of 9, by the way. Yanks and Giants tied at 2 games each. So that'll be fun. All right. Well, I think Robbie is waiting to do some baseball for Windows, so I don't want to hold him up. So I want to give my thank yous, as always. World's Worst Gamer, Clinton Parks, Big Clue, Cousin Ken Castro, and Cousin, thank you for suggesting the World Series project for Super Bowl night. I'll work on that through the week to set up these World Series and play up to whatever needs to be played. Who else do we have here? Do we say Clinton Parks? We'll say Clinton Parks again, and of course Robert Wartburg. Yep. So, good crowd. More watching tonight than participating, but still good stuff. Aaron Reed, thank you very much, Aaron. We're going to have you on again soon. I promise. Yo promiso. Cousin Ken managing a good game tonight, by the way. Christopher Slovic, thank you, my friend, for coming in. Best broadcaster out there, among a field of excellent people. Clee baseball fan, Tim879. Check out that channel, guys. It's excellent. And I think I got everybody. Cubs to Bears. So there we go. That's it. Fourth bit. All right. And thank you to Cousin Ken for selecting our Super Bowl project again this year. I don't think I did one. I didn't do one in 2021, but we did last year. I forget what we did. So in 2022, we did 2020, we did 2019. So Cousin Ken Castro is the author of our Super Bowl nights here. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, World's Worst Gamer. Appreciate it. He says take care. And to all you guys, thank you so very much. I appreciate all of you. And I'll see you around the batting cage. Robbie, I'll catch your games on the backside, pal. See you guys around the batting cage.